Have you ever gotten one of those calls, from a number you don't recognize? And when you pick up, someone's talking about an old account. Yeah, it can be pretty confusing, maybe even a little stressful. But you know what? It really doesn't have to be. We're going to clear all that up right now and give you the tools you need to handle it like a pro.
So imagine this. Your phone buzzes, you see a number you don't know, but hey, you answer. And the person on the other end starts talking about an account, maybe one you haven't thought about in a while. Your heart might do that little flutter thing. What's this all about? Who is this person?
Look, that feeling is totally normal. A lot of people have been right where you are, but I'm here to tell you it absolutely does not have to feel overwhelming. Today is all about getting you the knowledge you need so you can feel confident and in control of the situation.
So we're going to turn any of that uncertainty into total understanding. And we're going to do it by answering the 5 biggest, most common questions people have about debt collection. Questions like, why is some other company calling me? How do I even know if they're legit? And, what are my options if I can't pay the whole thing right now? By the time we're done, you'll have a crystal clear roadmap.
All right, let's start with that unexpected call. The very first thing that probably pops into your head is a really simple, really direct question.
And here it is. Why is a debt collector calling me instead of the original company I did business with? That's a totally fair question. It can feel a little strange, right? But there's actually a pretty straightforward reason for it.
Think about it like this. If you have a really tricky leaky pipe at home, you might try to fix it yourself first. But if it gets too complicated, what do? You call in a specialist, a plumber. Well, it's kind of the same idea here. When payments on an account have been missed for a while, the original company might bring in a specialist, a professional collection agency, to help sort things out.
So really, debt collectors are problem solvers. Their whole job is to act as a bridge to help you and the original company find a positive way forward. They're there to work with you to find a good resolution for everyone.
Okay, so now you know why they're calling. The next logical question is a big one. Who exactly are they? And how can you be sure you're talking to the real deal?
Let's be real, we live in a world with a lot of scams out there, so it is super important to know who you're dealing with. So how can you tell if you're talking to a professional, legitimate agency? Well, there are some really clear signs to look for.
Think of this as your personal legitimacy checklist. A pro will always give you their name and their company's name right up front. They'll have no problem sending you a written notice if you ask. They'll have a real website, a real address, and a huge one. They will never ask you to pay with something untraceable, like gift cards. And they'll never use threats. This checklist is your shield, so keep it in mind.
And a perfect example of an agency that does things the right way is a company like Atlantic Recovery Solutions. They're actually known for being ethical and friendly. They're all about working with you to figure out a plan that you can actually afford without any pressure or intimidation. That's the standard for a true professional.
So you've confirmed who you're talking to, and they're legit. Great. Now it's time to start looking forward. This is the part where you get to find your path to resolving things. So, what are your options?
It can be tough to talk about money, especially when things are tight. But you are definitely not alone in this. The good news is you have options. And that brings us to 2 questions that really go hand in hand. What are my options? And what if I can't pay the whole amount right now?
The most important thing to know is that there's flexibility. Professional agencies want to find a solution that actually works for you. You might be able to work out a deal to pay a reduced amount, either all at once or split into a few payments. Or you could set up a monthly payment plan to tackle the full balance in a way that fits your budget.
So, what's the secret to unlocking all these options? It's simple. Communication. Just being open and honest about what's going on with your finances. The more a collector understands your situation, the better they can tailor a solution that works for you. Remember, they're trained to find solutions, not to create more problems.
So, let's say you've found a path forward. You're working on resolving the debt. Awesome. But what about that other thing? The thing that might be nagging you in the back of your mind? Your credit. Let's talk about it.
And that brings us to our 5th and final question, and it's a big one for a lot of people. After all this work to pay off the debt, will it actually make a difference to your credit score? Will your credit ever bounce back? Let's dive in.
Okay, let's just get right to it. The short answer is yes, usually it does. Taking care of a collection account is a positive action, and positive actions are good for your credit. Now, it's not an overnight magic wand, but it is a huge step in the right direction, a really big step toward financial freedom.
Think about it from a future lender's point of view. Resolving a debt shows them that you follow through on your commitments.
It also lowers your total outstanding debt, which is always a good thing. But honestly, maybe the best part? It ends the collection calls. It reduces that stress and lets you move on with peace of mind. And you really can't put a price on that.
Because when you get right down to it, this whole process isn't just about a 3-digit number on a report. It's about your life. It's about you taking back control of your finances and building the future you want.
The path from feeling stressed about debt to feeling financially free starts with just one step. And today, you've taken that first step. You've armed yourself with knowledge and you know your options. Now you're ready to take action. It's time for your financial fresh start. You've got this.